Look.
I know we're normally hot, but we're cool.
You gotta get your blankets out.
You know what, I'm glad, but no, I want you to make it cooler, not hotter.
Did you make it cooler? Did you make it cooler?
Absolutely.
I've got to get here.
All right. We're gonna start this meeting. This is, Tuesday, February the 22nd, it is 6 p.m. This is the regular meeting of the Williston City Council. You're not. Oh, no, sorry. If you're looking for planning and zoning, it's across the hall, just in case. We have some stragglers here. At this time, we will call to order, and I will ask Ms. Patricia to call the roll, please.
Mayor Robinson.
Here.
Council President Jones.
Here.
Vice President Robinson.
Here.
Councilmember Cox.
Here.
Councilmember Hines.
Here.
Councilmember Ross.
Here.
City Manager Jackie Gorman.
Here.
City Attorney Scott Walker, absent. City Clerk Latricia Wright, here. Attorney Kirsten Ballou. She's here, she's next door. And other staff.
Here.
Thank you.
Thank you all for coming. At this time, we're going to stand for the opening prayer and the pledge of allegiance by the mayor.
Our gracious Heavenly Father, we come to you and thank you for the blessings you have given us and for this beautiful day, Lord. We pray that you would just be with us here tonight and be with this council and that they make the decisions for this city, Lord. Be with our military, wherever they may be, our men and women, and protect them by whatever means necessary and bring them back home safely, Lord. And with our police and firemen, as they work each day and each night here to protect us, we ask that you would protect them too, Lord. For it's in Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, item number 1 on our agenda is the additions, deletions, changes, and approval of the agenda. And I have one that I would like to request with your permission. If you look on page 2 of the agenda, under item 6, new business, I would like to move item A and B after C and D, and move C and D to A and B, so as not to keep our guests waiting for the other discussion. So C would be A, D would be B, A would be C, and B would be D. If that meets with your approval, I would appreciate a motion for approval of the agenda as amended. I move that we approve the agenda as amended. Have a motion, I have a second. Do I have any discussion from anyone? All in favor of the motion say aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Item number 2 is a proclamation from Mayor Jerry Robinson for the National Society of the Daughters of the American Revolution. Mr. Mayor.
Ms. Elizabeth Dover. Get up here center stage.
Okay.
Wait a minute.
Okay, now we get up here at center stage. Ms. Dobler is a past regent of the Coral Gables chapter of the Daughters of American Revolution, past president of the South Florida Regents Council, is currently the senior president of Jacob Roberts Brown Society, Children of the American Revolution, as well as the chaplain of Gainesville chapter DAR. And we have a proclamation here for the Daughters of the American Revolution. And bear with me because there's going to be a few breaths in here. Okay. Whereas the Gainesville chapter of the National Society of the Daughters of the American Revolution is a nonprofit, non-political, volunteer women's service organization dedicated to preserving American history, securing America's future through better education and promoting patriotism. Whereas the objects of this society shall be to perpetuate the memory and spirit of the men and women who achieved American independence by the acquisition and protection of historical spots and the erection of monuments by the encouragement of historical research in relation to the Revolution and publication of its results, by the preservation of the documents and relics and of the records of the individual services of Revolutionary wars, soldiers and patriots, and by the promotion of the celebrations of all patriotic anniversaries. Whereas, to carry out the injunction of Washington in his farewell address to the American people, to promote as an object of primary importance institutions for the general diffusion of knowledge, thus developing an enlightened public opinion and affording to young and old such advantages as shall develop in them the largest capacity for performing the duties of American citizens, to cherish, maintain, and extend the institutions of American freedom, to foster true patriotism and love of country, and to aid in securing for mankind all the blessings of liberty. Whereas the Gainesville chapter sponsors the Jacob Roberts Brown Society of the Children of the American Revolution, founded in 1951. Whereas the Gainesville chapter was chartered on March 20th, 1922, with 13 members from the Gainesville, Florida area, and in 2022 has 164 members. Whereas the Gainesville chapter has fulfilled the mission of the National Society Daughter of the American Revolution to promote historic preservation and education and patriotism for the past 100 years. Now therefore, I, Jerry Robinson, Mayor of the City of Williston, Florida, do hereby proclaim March 20th, 2022 as Gainesville chapter of the National Society of the American Revolution Day, approved by me as Mayor of the City of Williston on this 22nd day of February 2022. Thank you. Thank you for coming.
The other one has to be, I'm 26, ready? Thank you so much, and
You're
thank you,
welcome.
it's a privilege.
Yes, thank you for coming.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. At this time, we'll move to item number 3, which is public participation. At this time, we will ask our audience if they have anything for our agenda that is not currently on our agenda. If so, you have 5 minutes to speak. This is the first of 2 opportunities. Yes, sir. Please come to the microphone. State your name and your city of residence for the record.
My name is Richard Garvey. I live in Mineola, Florida. I'm with the Florida Balloon Association. We've submitted a special events application to do an event close to the airport. I think the land is actually owned by the airport. But I wanted to come here tonight because the form that we submitted, we only submitted it right on the very deadline. We've sent some other paperwork previously, and that was the wrong paperwork to submit, so that was totally on me, I apologize. But essentially we do 14 or 15 of these events around Florida each year. The reason for picking Williston for this one was that it's nicely located between Ocala and Gainesville, and you can't necessarily fly balloons in the Gainesville area. Our organization knows balloon pilots in the United States are over the age of 60, which isn't a bad thing, but you know, with stringent new medicals being brought in by the FAA, unless we get younger people interested in hot air ballooning, we're not going to have a sport for much longer. So we do these events, we bring out families, they get to see the balloons. We have Tom and Jerry and Tweety and Sylvester special shaped balloons. They just sit on the ground, they glow in the dark, and hopefully get people interested in our sport.
Okay, I'm looking at my airport manager and also my special event coordinator. I see the airport manager is giving me a thumbs up. This is what you have on your desk. I didn't know anything about it either until I got here tonight. Have not seen the special event application. Ms. Latricia, what do we see if we look at the special event application?
You have it filled out, this is one part, which you should have for me.
The notarized, yeah.
so we need to get that part.
The, what part?
The part that's where he has to notarize.
Oh, the notary, okay. I guess I would ask the name of your organization, whether you have insurance.
Yeah, so we insure every event separately. So usually it's 1 million per occurrence, 2 million aggregate. But every event is insured as an individual standalone entity, so you don't dilute that coverage. But I don't think my reason for coming tonight was for you to necessarily make a decision. I just wanted to let you guys know what we'd applied to do, because it was and it was too late to go to the agenda. So, you know.
Okay, so we're gonna see this again?
What's the name of your, organization?
So it's Florida Balloon Association.
Thank
But
you.
the event is part of a national group of events called the Balloon Glow Tour. So balloonglowtour.com is the website. If you go on there, you'll see a video of what the event looks like, and yeah, it gives you a good impression of what the event consists of.
I have another question.
How big are the balloons?
About 85 feet tall, about 45 foot wide. Pretty awesome. Yeah, so
Do we give rides?
Do they take off or just stay stationary?
they stay stationary.
That's what I thought I heard you say, but I wasn't sure.
I mean, in future years, providing you're willing to have us back, we'd love to do a flying event here, but it's just, the timeline's very short. And with rides and stuff, I can't offer, because I don't
That's
want to be,
okay, I'll remember that.
offering incentives, but, you know, for sure, in the name of, research, perhaps we could do something, that's open to everyone.
That's on the mayor's hand first.
Why would it need, if it's approved, special event is approved, does it have to come
It's
back
not
to the council?
approved yet.
I know, but if they approve it, does it have to come back before the council?
I think that it may need to, because I'm seeing food vendors and retail vendors and bounce houses and all kinds of things here. I'm not just seeing balloons sitting in a field.
Right, it's.
Okay, I don't understand, because if it's an event, it names all of that and puts all that in the package and everything. I don't know why. I'm just curious, from my own edification, why it would have to come back to the
It
council.
doesn't have to come before you, just staff is, we just wanna make sure, seeing it's so different, he wanted to introduce himself, make sure no one had a problem with it.
So it'd be basically for
prefer-
informational
Yes,
purposes,
sir.
not for a vote.
That's it.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, and I prefer to see it again, even if it is informational.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. I wanna know a little more information when you get the full packet, and that's just me. Because it's so much more than just, it's really a big deal here.
I'm sure it's a little bit different to what you've had in the past, for sure, but it is essentially just a food truck event with retail vendors, bounce houses, and the balloons. The
Right.
balloons obviously
The
take-
static event,
Yes.
okay.
Probably about 5 years ago, Mr. President, the council at the time removed the special events from touring from the council, and it just goes through staff.
I hear that, but I'm not real sure that we wanna keep it that way, so we'll see.
Well, you have an event this weekend that didn't go in front of.
Exactly.
The Miles is Miles is not coming in front of
That's right.
council.
Exactly.
I haven't seen it either.
And I don't think,
Maybe not.
well, because we changed about 5 years ago, where it goes through the department heads.
Right, I'm aware of that, that was before, I know that. We've been doing that for a long time, before the department head.
And I don't mind coming back if I have to.
Yeah. I mean, I don't care, they could just give it to me if y'all don't care. I mean, I can just look at it myself without coming back here if that's what you want. Anybody
I
else?
don't have a problem, I mean, we've had other events where we didn't have to see them again. I just can't wait for the event.
Yeah, that would be cool. Perfect. Great.
What time is the event gonna be?
It's in the evening because, during
Cause
the,
it's glow.
and during the day, it's the most windiest time of day, so you can only fly balloons first thing in the morning, or inflate them in the evening. We typically don't fly them in the morning, just a bit far.
Have y'all ever done anything down around the Lakeland area?
So we actually host a competition event in Lakeland as part of another, a much bigger deal. But we do Orlando, so, we've done Orlando for 5 years, West Palm Beach for 3 or 4 years, Naples for 4 years, Miami for, I think, only two got, that's with COVID, and they got hit a lot harder with COVID numbers and everything else, so. And again, you know, we don't know where we're gonna be in 4 weeks' time with the COVID numbers, but if there was another variant and an outbreak, obviously, we're not just gonna demand to host an event just for the sake of it, we're pretty responsible.
And when do we want to do this?
It's the, I think, 18th to the 20th of March, but don't shoot me if I got the dates wrong. It's the third weekend of March, the Friday, Saturday, Sunday evening. But it's a 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. deal, and I think we requested to hire some police officers, off-duty officers for traffic as well, just in case. I don't think it's going to be that much of a big deal for the first year. We typically do smaller events and just try and learn the area, but we want to have them there just in case. You know.
Okay.
How will you advertise for it?
Pretty much just on social media. We might do some local newspaper or local radio station or anything like that, but we wouldn't want to advertise it incredibly large because we want, you know, we only allow so many people to come to a first year event. We're pretty tight on our capacities. You know, when we first started doing this 6 or 7 years ago, we had an event in Miami where the chief of police still jokes around with us about how many people showed up. So we just want to avoid those situations.
And the vendors, are they yours?
I did speak to the chamber and asked the chamber if they wanted to bring in vendors and charge a admission fee, they could keep the money for the chamber. What we started doing 2 years ago when COVID hit is we actually eliminated the retail and the arts and craft vendor fees. We're just going back to starting to charge them now, but we did offer the chamber, and same with sponsorships, if the chamber wanted to go out and, you know, sell a sponsorship to a local bank or something like that, I'd be happy to have that money donated to the chamber fund.
Okay, so you're essentially, partnering with the chamber.
Well, if we get approval, they said they were interested.
If
but
they wanted to
depends on-
tag along with you.
Right.
Okay. Anybody else have a question? Mr. Stiegel?
Yes, ma'am. The only impact we're gonna have on the airport is we'll probably have to note and close the grass runway, which is just for that evening would be absolutely no factor to us whatsoever.
Got it. Thanks, sir. All right. You just proceed with Ms. Wright and get it done. Thank you. Anything else for this participation section? Anyone else at this time? Okay, then we'll move to item 4, which is the consent agenda. On the consent agenda, you have the council meeting minutes of February 8th, Resolution 2022-14, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Williston, Florida, authorizing the salary adjustment of the city manager pursuant to the City of Williston City Manager Agreement. I would entertain a motion for the consent agenda.
I move that we approve the consent agenda.
Second. You second? Okay, I have a motion and a second. Any discussion on the motion? All in favor of the motion say aye. Aye. All opposed, say sign. Motion carried. Thank you. All right, item 5 is all business. At this time, we'll have staff, board, and council updates, and we'll start with our city manager, Jackie Gorman.
Hey, good evening, council. Not a lot tonight, just wanted to let you know that back on the 15th, we had lunch with leaders that took place at the Morrison Baptist Church. This was myself, Dina, Selena, Latricia, and it was a wonderful opportunity. We had Jeremy Williams that owns Chick-fil-A speak, and it was a luncheon, and it was just wonderful. They talked about recruiting, hiring practices, and creating a winning business culture, which was just really a good session for all of us, so we were really glad to be there, and they're going to be having more. So we look forward to that. The second thing is, capital projects report's not done. We'll probably have that out for you tomorrow. I'll email it out. And the last thing is, we have one staff member and some folks from our Brunswick Cornelius Williams Park in Tallahassee right now, fighting for a $500,000 grant that we've applied for, and keep your fingers crossed, we should know something soon. It was a 3-day, so the They were there yesterday. Laura, am I right? It was yesterday, today, and tomorrow.
Today and tomorrow.
Is that today and tomorrow? Okay. So tomorrow Laura's on standby in the event that, because we were like, great, there's a whole bunch of people, and being president has a lot of weight, and we found that out today, that they're listening to it, monitoring what's going on. Donald's there right now, and he's giving us reports back. And those that show up is really making a difference. So us being there is making a difference. So Laura will know tomorrow when we're on the docket and be ready to go up there. But it's we have a good sharing session, so please say prayers and keep fingers crossed, and we hope that we have a positive outcome on that. And just to tell you, the grant was for the fence, parking lot, and interior drive. So $500,000 is a lot, but gotta get that part started to make it safe. And we were all there this past weekend with the cleanup, and we didn't have the turnout I think that they expected, but it was a good time, and I think we got a lot done. So I appreciate staff and all their efforts in showing up and doing that. Of course, council showed up, the mayor showed up, Ms. Marguerite showed up, Ms. Stephens, so it was a good time. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Okay, at this time, we'll go to Police Chief Strode.
The old days were a long sleeve shirt and air conditioner's not working.
It feels better now. Wayne's got us on set.
You realize today is Tuesday, 2/22/22. A bunch of twos.
And we made it through 2/22.
That's right.
Yeah.
Over 50 years ago, I began the journey of a lifetime being a law enforcement officer, helping people and enforcing the law. Today, I see that journey coming to an end. I'd like to announce my retirement effective April 22nd, 2022. For over 10 years, I've had the opportunity and honor to serve as Williston's police chief, all of which would have not been possible if not been for the late Mayor R.J. Heathcote, Mayor Jerry Robinson, and the City Council, for their confidence and unwavering support. I'd also be remiss not to mention the daily support and encouragement I receive from my wife, Susan. Most of all, I want to thank the men and women of the Williston Police Department. Their professionalism and dedication to duty are second to none, and it's been my honor to serve with them. I've been very blessed and consider myself a very lucky man to be able to go to work every day doing what I love to do, serving the public, and trying to make a positive difference. Just recently, Tom Brady said he was a very lucky man. He don't have a clue. At this stage of life, it's time to stop working and start living. In closing, I'm going to quote Dr. Seuss. This was before he got banned. I won't cry because it's over. I'll smile because it happened. Thank you.
I think you surprised us. And we are happy for you, sad for us, and happy for y'all. Should have known something was up when you came in with your wife. and Officer Conley. But we appreciate your part, our part of the 50 years that you've served.
It's been a pleasure.
Thank you, sir. And we'll look forward to it till April 22nd. Okay, where do we go from there? We'll move now to the CRA report from Nick Williams, the chair.
Well, we have another 50th anniversary celebration scheduled for Wednesday, March 23rd. It would be the 50th anniversary of the birth of Foolish Pleasure. I think everyone passed the statue right outside. Everyone's invited. The statue will be placed right about across the street from Cookie King Real Estate. That's it for now. I hope by the next meeting I'll have a more substantial update on events ongoing work across the
Okay.
street.
And who's building the pedestal for the horse?
The CRA.
The CRA is building it?
Yes.
It's subcontracting it out? I mean, you're not doing it yourself, so you're paying for it.
That's correct. There will be a base pedestal, there will be paving stones around it, there will be a walkway. We're not simply, erecting a statue. Some of the work, I think, will enhance the look of the park.
Yeah.
And, it's necessary to place the statue higher simply because it's a hollow, statue and looks like, might be too much of a temptation to, climb on. And we did not want to have fencing or other things, impediments around it that kind of clutter up the park. So that's why it has to be on a heightened
Right.
base.
Okay, we'll look forward to seeing it, Mr. Mayor.
Was there any consideration given for the placement out here to the green, at the green area here by City Hall?
We discussed that, and can't give you a reason. I just recall that it was felt that, the location farther north, it was less cluttered and more by itself.
I was just thinking if it was out here in this green space right out here, it would be more visible to the traffic going on 27. A lot more traffic would see it than up there on the north end of the park. And it could get, I'm not saying it would, but it could get lost in the value of foolish pleasure here. And people could see it, would stop, possibly stop here, walk around town, and read what you have out there for it. But that was just, in my opinion, that would be a better place for it out there. But didn't make that decision. I just wanted to voice that concern.
And he's talking about all the way, like over in front of Walgreens.
Over in that little circle area.
Not right here in the parking lot, but over there.
Right. Location was discussed,
Right.
at some length, I can't recall the specifics. I think considering the pavers that are placed around it, you know, as I say, it's not just a base and a statue, you're going to see more, a lot more work there than you might think, and I think that was the basis for our deciding to put it farther north.
Well, I saw a photograph of what you're describing over there, and there's plenty of room over there in that green space. But again, that's just me. I would love to have had it more visible for the people that come through town that doesn't go up 121 or 41.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Yes, sir. If you will, come to the podium and state your name, your city of residence.
Chief, when you need your glasses.
Oh, he will. Where did he go?
I've been in that.
Thank you.
Before. My name is Dale Wessels, I live in Morrison, Florida. It's been a pleasure to work with Chairman Williams on this project. My recollection of why it was not in that green space, which is an outstanding spot, my recollection is two. There may be future construction and expansion of the road of that intersection, that was one. And the one that touches me is there's already a memorial there to a slain police officer. And I think it would be incorrect to point in that space. But that's just my recollection and what I wanted to add to that discussion. It really has been a pleasure to work with the Community Redevelopment Agency. I'm learning a lot about this communities, and I'm very excited about this event. I hope you can all attend. And I just wanted to answer that question, because it's worthy.
And the horse is beautiful. This is the gentleman who donated the horse to us. And I think Linda Valentine Brown is the one who painted it.
She is.
So we're very, very happy with both of those results. Thrilled to see it when I walked in the foyer and found it there. Beautiful. Thank you. Okay, there, anything else, Mr. Williams? Williams is gone. Board of Adjustments, is everybody here for the Board of Adjustments? I don't see them. All right then, we will move then to item B, excuse me. What?
Council, you gonna ask for council updates?
I can, if we have updates. I can do it now and at the end. Do you have anything for this agenda at this time? Ms. Hines? Mr. Mayor?
I need to ask the council if they want to declare an emergency meeting for next Tuesday to announce the results of the election, or wait until it's posted on the door. That's y'all's decision.
I would like to have a meeting.
We usually do.
Yeah, we usually do.
Okay? We'll
I mean,
make-
we don't need to have it at 6 o'clock.
Right.
We'll make an emergency meeting at 7 o'clock in order to announce the results of the election next week.
So we have a place to sit and wait.
Well,
That sounds good to
everybody
me.
already knows.
No,
Only if you're standing outside.
no,
No, you
no,
won't.
because the polls close at 7.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you'll know within 30 minutes.
Yeah, we may could have it at 7:15 or 7:30, but what we'll do is we'll open the meeting and then
Well,
we
let's
can.
just do it for 7:15.
We still have to do the.
Absentees?
Yes.
Yeah, we have to come in. I think we could do 7:30 and be fine.
Yeah, 7:30.
Because they have to put all the absentee ballots through the council, through the.
Okay, let me rephrase that. Let's do it for 7:30.
Thank you. Everybody okay with that? All right.
That's next Tuesday.
Yes.
Yeah, the election day.
That is next Tuesday, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
March 1st, 7:30. Place to be.
Nothing heard.
All right. Do we need a motion on that, or we have consensus? I know you declared it, so we've agreed with it, even though we don't have to. Okay, he has the ability to do that. All right, so we'll move, Ms. Marguerite, do you have anything? Sorry.
I just have a question.
Uh-huh.
For our utility workshop, is that gonna be advertised, so, and on social media, et cetera, so residents could show up?
It should be in the paper this Thursday.
Okay, good. I hope they all show up.
Me too. Mr. Cox? Okay. Do you have anything for this go around? Not not this time. All right, we're gonna stop right there, 'cause it says council, it does say staff. You might have staff got anything to say at this point, or we're gonna wait till the end? You're smiling at me. You all right? All right, we're gonna move then to item B. Discussion with possible action at the fire station doors. Chief Steele.
Yeah, this was, discussed at the last meeting. We talked about if we weren't gonna finish out the police station with the loan we had already put in for, that we could possibly look at getting the doors replaced. Replace those 5 doors was gonna be about $35,000. I was asked to bring back a price of, approximately what it would cost, and I talked with a vendor who's the only vendor we've been able to get to replace our doors, and he gave me that price, this week.
Okay, and you'll find that on your desk, on your council desk. One of the papers that Patricia gave us tonight. Okay?
I should add that they would all match.
They would match the one we have, when we do have it.
Do they come painted?
They come painted
Of the
brown.
same color?
Dark brown.
And they work. Okay, so are we positively giving up on the build out of the police station?
Where'd Chief go?
He is there.
We just got another phone call today, or email from the city manager asking us to reach out to another contractor. We'll reach out to him, but it's too late in the day to find out anything. And I don't know what conversation you had with him.
You're talking about the plan room? The one I sent today was on the plan room. The contractor that showed interest is Mike Langston Clotherwell, who's a contractor that was interested in volunteering a lot of his service to try and help get this build out done. Have you heard back from him at all?
We just got the email late today.
No, the one I sent late today was the plan room, wasn't the result of your bid. I sent it to Terry.
Yeah, I haven't gotten.
Mid-Florida.
We have not heard anything from.
You haven't heard anything from Mike? Okay.
No, ma'am, I haven't, no, we have not.
I also had a contractor who was interested and never received the RFP to give to him. So if you have such a thing, I'd be glad to give it to him.
We'd have to reissue the RFP, isn't that correct? Let's just re-advertise, it'd be the same thing you did, you're just giving them another crack at it. But they had to receive the 2 bids already.
Yeah, we went through the RFP process first, and then that's when we got the 2 bids that we brought in front of you. So at that point, we were just waiting for direction on how you wanted to proceed, if you wanted to rebid it and do another RFQ or RFP, and then, or not. And I guess that's kind of where we're at,
Yeah.
correct?
Okay, so when you
To
say,
include the 5 doors.
No, no ma'am, the 5 doors was going to be if we did not shoot, I guess, is that correct? If we
To include 2 doors on the
2, that's
original
right.
wall.
Yeah, 2 doors
Right,
is the
2
original.
doors.
Or we don't do the upstairs and do the 5 doors.
okay, so you're gonna reissue the RFP. Is that what you're gonna do?
If that's what the will of the council would like to do.
Jack, I did get an
I'll go back to my original question, are we giving up on the build out of the police station?
Well, I just wanna clarify one thing. I did get an email from Jackie about the PD renovation today at 5:09 about a Hugh McNichols.
Yeah, he's with the plan room.
That's not for the PD renovation then?
It is, he just wanted the results of your bid, is all he was
Oh,
asking
okay, I'm
for.
sorry.
Yeah.
I did answer him.
You did?
Yes, I called Mr. Nichols.
So he called you too?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Calling everybody.
We can try rebidding it if you want to, it's up to y'all. But we have, when we first looked at it, we looked at $75,000 was the estimate we had. That's why, actually, when Jack and I first talked about it, and we needed money for the doors, we bumped it to 100, 75 for us, 25 for the fire.
Right,
And so,
I remember that, yeah.
And I don't know, you can knock me over a feather when we open up those 2 bids. The one thing about it is if we don't proceed with the build out, and I really don't know if we can get enough, the bid's low enough to do it, we need to address the mold problem that's gonna come back.
Exactly. That's why I don't wanna give up. No, I don't either. So this out, we're just gonna have to do that all over again, or get rid of the building or something.
If I may, instead of re-advertising it, can we reach out to Mike's father-in-law, who already said he'd be willing to donate his time, find out what that means? Because what I was interested in
It's
is,
legal.
yes, as long as we had a licensed electrician, HVAC, to permit those 2 things, he would direct any laborers or people that want to come and volunteer time to do it. I was hoping there was enough volunteers that we could get this done. I don't know about materials, I don't know if that's gonna be an issue. It was just, I just hated to see it not happen.
Me too.
So, if you want us to try and reach him and see just what the limits are to his service, of just standing there telling us what to do first, second, and third, you know.
He's a licensed contractor, right?
Absolutely, yes, he is. We can do, it's up to you, I just was kept trying, that's all I was trying to do.
I would like to know the legality behind that, if we just not rebid or do the RFP and just go to somebody, is that really legal or appropriate?
That was my
Or
question.
should we just go ahead, if we're gonna do that, redo it?
So if what you're talking about is going forward and asking for, it sounds like this individual is willing to donate his time on a non-paid basis, is that correct?
Could be, I just want to clarify that with him.
Okay, so if that is the case, then on an unpaid basis, I don't believe that there's any illegal issue going forward. Now, if it's a paid basis, it would depend, of course, upon how much it is, and obviously at that point, we would also want to consider the rebid. When if it's unpaid.
With a different scope.
Not an issue.
Yeah.
If it's paid, that's when it becomes a little bit, murkier.
Right.
And it's better to err on the side of caution and just rebid the entire RFP.
You know, even with this volunteer contractor that oversee it, would be a blessing. I can still see items coming back from the council because of our purchasing policy. When you have a certain dollar amount, it's got to come back from the council for approval. You know, so, if he can do it and we can work through the numbers, it's a doable thing, but we still need to be able to have bay doors that we can get fire trucks out of in case there's a fire. That's kind of an important thing to have.
Okay, so the plan is that you're gonna ask him whether he's gonna do it on a non-pay or would wanna pay basis. And if it's pay basis, we need to rebid with a different scope, because it's not the same scope. If it's simply for a contractor to oversee the subs.
I'll find out what is.
So that's a different RFP altogether. And I guess just let us know at the next meeting.
I will.
Okay, that's a good question.
Yes, sir, absolutely.
Since all of our bids have come back greater than what we anticipated, could they go ahead, get it sealed, get the AC in there, let's build out what we can now, and then come back? That way there, they can still be able to utilize the thing. The air conditioner would take care of the mold and things like that.
I mean, my question would be, who would do that? Who would oversee, who would contract that if we've already gone through the process, the RFQs or RFPs, come back to where it's not within our range? I mean, I don't know how we would find somebody unless somebody volunteered, but.
Is there a drop ceiling?
There is absolutely nothing, it's open right now, so
It's
it would
open, okay.
require a drop ceiling.
Okay, so that's what I know, so we're gonna have to have that before you can put in a dump.
Oh, yes, ma'am.
So you couldn't go, if it could just go, if it was a drop ceiling, you could go put in a closet, you could build a closet, put an AC unit, air and heating unit in it, run some ducts in the drop ceiling, and stop.
Yes, but it requires
But
a
there
firewall.
aren't, there's no drop ceiling, so.
And it requires a little bit more, I mean, we have the firewall that's required, and that's a big chunk of a lot of it too, so it's just all open air.
The exterior walls.
The exterior walls, everything has to be sealed, so it's a little bit more of a process.
Yeah,
but-
last time I saw it was raw plywood, but I wasn't sure
It
if
hasn't
it
changed.
was, you know, if it was in that same state.
We have
Still there.
We have to have 3 layers of drywall between us and the fire department to meet building codes. I don't know why you need all that when you got fire trucks on the side of the wall, you know, do some things don't
Or
make
in case
sense.
their doors don't open.
Yeah, okay,
Let's just do it over the wall.
The firewall has to be
But
open.
the firewall.
Give them time to get the door open.
The firewall is one of the most expensive parts.
I'm sure, yeah. And the firewall is between the fire and police?
Right, the upstairs, when it'd be on the south wall that would, on the other side would be the bay.
By the bay, okay, gotcha.
We'll contact, Mr. Langston and father-in-law and have a conversation with him.
Okay,
and we'll-
wonderful. Let us know what the results are, we'll know where to go from there. Meanwhile, tell your supplier, Choose Steagall, to hang tight,
Understand, table.
or send 2. We could go ahead and order 2.
Okay. Let's do all 5 at one time.
Just wait until
Yep.
we know what we're doing.
I would prefer to do that.
Okay. Any other staff at this time? All right, we're finally coming in.
Okay.
We're gonna move to item 6, and when we move to item 6, remember, we're going to C was first. And C is really A, Resolution 2022-07, a resolution of the City of Williston, Levy County, Florida, authorizing the City Council President to sign an agreement with Wright Pierce to provide engineering services for the 2021-2022 CDBG grant cycle and provide an effective date. Mr. Bishop.
Yes, ma'am, Wright Pierce is here to speak on my behalf tonight. Thank you.
Mr. Davis.
Good evening,
Welcome.
everybody. Yes, so this project, I think during the last council meeting, Mr. Walt Nichols spoke a little bit about this project, but since that time, we had an opportunity to finish our proposal and give it to the city manager and to the public works director. And so this project is going to be the next fiscal year's CDBG project. If you remember, we just recently wrapped up, I guess it would have been 1920 or 2021 CDBG project, which was the phase 1 of the wastewater treatment plant. And so now we're ready to move forward with the next year's project. Probably talked about this last time, but we're only allowed to have one of these neighborhood revitalization projects open at a time. So since we just closed the other one, we're ready to start this next one. We went through looking at several different projects for this, and ultimately what we decided to do was move forward with replacement of lift station number 4 and then if the funds are available to provide backup power to lift station number 6. Both of those lift stations were identified as needing some work back in a wastewater facilities plan that was prepared back in 2013. So yeah, in 2013, lift station 4 was identified as being in poor condition and needing to be replaced, and nothing has happened with it since that time. And then today, it's still in very poor condition. It's sitting right in somebody's front yard. So we're gonna look at replacing it, probably moving it across the street to a parcel of city-owned property. We'll have a complete new redesign of that station, be, state-of-the-art station, backup power there. And then, again, if there's funds available in the CDBG project, we're gonna go ahead and design backup power for lift station 6 also, and we'll include that in the CDBG project, so.
Okay, and there are maps in our packet, if anybody needed to know where those are. Any questions for Mr. Davis?
I'll just add, our proposal is to do the preliminary engineering. We'll hire local surveyor, Steve McMillan, to do the survey. We'll do some, little bit of geotechnical work, go through all the design process and permitting, and then do the bidding process as part of this project.
Okay, great. Hope it comes up under bid, right?
Yes.
Okay, I would then entertain a motion for resolution 2022-07.
I would move that we accept resolution 2022-07.
Second. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you, ma'am. All right, so we have a motion and a second. Any other questions or discussion on the matter? Yes, ma'am.
Is this the one that, is encroaching or half on the property, half not?
It looks like it's, I have not seen the property record to see if it's on an easement but it's right in the front yard.
Front yard.
Yeah.
Will that cause any conflict for the homeowner?
They're gonna
Well,
move it.
we're gonna
Move it out of the yard across the street.
Yeah, there's a parcel of property across the street that the city owns, so we wanna move it over there is our number one choice.
We'll actually give them their property back.
And so, yeah, when we're done, all of that's above grade right now will all be removed, or all of that mess will be moved, so.
Is that the one down by where the new house is?
No, it's actually,
It's on that side?
uh-huh. Somebody walked me there, Jonathan walked me there. I know, in our packet, it tells me what street. Is it,
Should be up at 19.
is it northeast second and fourth? Is that right?
There's the station 6, which one you talked about, Dennis, 4?
4.
I go up one, right there.
Is that wouldn't be.
There it is.
4 is on northeast
Right on the
and 9.
property.
Yeah, right there.
There's a retention pond across the street.
So it's
Acres
nine-
that hook to it.
I think it's ninth and ninth and third.
Yeah.
Third. Second. Okay, ninth and second. Oh, I see, it does go through, there's just a tree in the way.
Yeah.
Got it. So, yes, that'll be very helpful for that whole neighborhood. Okay, so any other discussion or questions on the motion? Mr. Cox?
Can we get the grant, what timeframe are we looking to do this?
Well, the way it'll work is we expect the grant cycle to open up probably early April. It'll be open for 45 days, so by mid-May, mid to late May, we'll have to submit our application. And with that, we'll submit these finalized plans and specifications that we're being contracted to do. That will go into the grant review period, which will probably take about 8 months. So, I mean, it's gonna be probably a year before we get construction funding, so.
And one, oh, there it is, there's the name, I was gonna say, there's a name right there in that bottom.
Yeah, I just saw it.
And there's another name, a different name at the top, if we could see the whole thing. I remember seeing, yeah, there you go.
Yes.
Yep. So that kinda helps you a little bit know where it might be.
So you said there's a vacant lot on the opposite side, does it belong to somebody, do you have to get?
Belongs to the city.
It's the city's.
So just move it across the street.
And yeah, we won't take up that whole lot, it's a
Okay,
pretty good sized
yeah,
lot.
it
so
is a
we'll
good sized lot.
pick a small corner of it and try to minimize our,
Is it being used for retention right
There's
now?
a retention pond there, but
Yeah.
there's some open
Also.
area on the north side of that. And that's our primary goal, is to put it there.
Great.
If we can, we could still be in the right of way, but not on those people's property. We would try to do that.
Terrific. Okay, so, are you ready for the question? All in favor of the motion, say aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Okay, so now we're going to item B, which is really D. Resolution 2022-12, resolution of the City of Williston, Levy County, Florida, authorizing the City Council President to sign an agreement with Wright Pierce to provide the general engineering services and provide an effective date. Mr. Bishop and Mr. Davis.
yes. So this item is for us to be able to provide miscellaneous services to the city. Back in May of 2021, we signed, the first one of these contracts. It was for $25,000, and we really, since some changes at the city staff, really we've stepped in to really help Ms. Gorman and Mr. Bishop with any miscellaneous things that they may need. We've done things in helping coordinate with FPL with the new power line locations and the construction work there. We've helped on some plat reviews. We're helping them right now with Country Lane Estates, making sure that that development is being developed in a way that benefits the city from a utilities perspective. We have looked at other miscellaneous issues around the city. We have went through that $25,000 that was again initially started in May of last year, and this basically re-ups another $25,000 for us to continue to provide those types of services.
Questions for Mr. Davis or Ms. Gorman? All right, I would entertain a motion for 2022-12, as previously read.
I move that we approve resolution 2022-12.
Second that.
I have a motion, I have a second. Is there any discussion or question from anyone else? All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you, gentlemen.
Yes, and I'd just like to say, I really appreciate the opportunity to continue working with the city. Obviously, as a resident of the city, you know, what happens here really matters to me, so I appreciate the opportunity to continue to work with you.
We appreciate you all both stepping up.
Thank you.
Okay, then we're going to item A, which is now C. Discussion with possible action, city council members' email addresses, investigation of gift cards received. And this was put on the agenda by Mrs. Cooper, who is not here. So I think at that point, we'll just keep moving, unless anybody else has anything to say. All right, we'll go to item D, which is discussion with possible action. You don't have anybody online, do you, Mr. Mills? I'll just ask that to be safe.
Yeah.
Okay. D, discussion with possible action, city clerk evaluation, council president Deborah Jones. I'm gonna ask Ms. Nelson if she will give us an overview of what's in our packet to begin.
Sure.
If you will. Since this is your handiwork. Our numbers and your handiwork.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, I did receive 5 evaluations, and in the packet is just a accumulation of everyone's notes. I did do a ratio of each section, just to come up with a final ratio for her of 3.74, with a meet job standard.
Okay, and you...
Are there any questions from anyone in your packet as to any of the comments, or any clarification needed of anyone's comments?
I would just say that I think all the comments were very well thought out.
They were.
And I think everybody really thought about what they were doing when they did it. I don't know how Ms. Wright feels about that, but I also want to thank her for her self-evaluation, which was very helpful in this process. At this time, I don't know whether you want to get Ms. Nelson to put the numbers in, or whether you want to just use the ratio we have here to begin our discussions. I do not, this is, in this packet, it's the first time I've seen it as well. If you want me to bring numbers back to you like I did before, dollar amounts like I did before,
Okay.
so that you can consider those at our next meeting, I would be glad to do that. That's what we do?
Yeah.
Are you okay with that? All right. We'll get Mr. Bloom to give us those numbers, and we'll consider, the total evaluation and any possible raise that we might give her at that time. Are you okay with that plan?
Well, aren't these numbers here accurate, or
They are, but we don't know what dollar amount they equate to.
is that necessary?
Actually, I do.
Not necessarily, but if, that's why I didn't bring it last time, because I didn't think it was necessary, but if people want to see it in dollars, I can do that. I can ask Mr. Bloom to do that for us. He is online, he can hear us now, and he can help us do that, before our next meeting, if we need for him to. And I think it's wise to do that, so that we know, and I can do the same thing I did before. I started at 2.5, and I went to 4.5. I can bring you those dollar amounts. And then you can look at the ratio that we have here, and we go from there.
Now, should we do that, or just the 3.74 as it is? I mean, why do we need any higher? Just questioning, why do we even need the 4% or 4.5? When her ratio is 3.74.
If everybody's okay with using that same method, that's a very good question. Mr. Johnson?
I think if we did it before and you only evaluate 2 people in the whole thing, let's keep it consistent.
I agree. So let's bring the numbers back.
Yes, ma'am.
I'd still like to keep the dollar amount.
And then we'll, I still think that's what it's gonna be, but we need to bring the dollars back, and so that we know what we're talking about, and we'll go from there. Okay?
I have a question.
Mr. Mayor?
Did the city clerk receive an increase at the first of the budget, or when the budget was approved?
She did not. Neither did the city manager. They don't get it.
No, I know the
until
city
their anniversary.
manager doesn't, because she's on contract, but the city clerk is not on contract.
But she did not. I have a staffing plan if you'd like to look at it.
No.
It's here. I did bring it.
No, I understand. I just,
I brought it for other purposes, but it's here for that reason.
I guess I'm just confused, because in the past, when the employees, or when the council gave increases to the employees, then the city clerk got that same increase.
I believe we've done that before on a previous city clerk. For some reason, that's what happened. But they got,
yeah. So usually when the council does we do the evaluations for those 2 people, that's the way it's done. It waits until that evaluation is done.
Well, I must have slept it in, but I just don't remember it that way. And that's fine. I mean, that's y'all's job.
And just to remind you, at the last budget, not all city staff got a raise, only those that needed to be compensated for to have a comparable salary.
Right.
And she didn't have her salary survey, or like I didn't have mine done, she didn't have hers either, so.
Exactly. All right, so we will bring it back to you with dollar amounts at the next city council meeting for consideration. So we'll do the odd amount too. We'll do the 3.74. Okay, we'll do that one as well, so we know exactly what we're talking about. Okay, if you will, then we are ready to move to item 7. We're back to public participation. For anyone, either online or in the room, who would like to join us for,
Jacqueline Ashley. Just a few things I would like, in some way, I don't know what Jackie has said already. I would just like to thank everyone that showed up for the cleanup. I wasn't at the beginning, but I heard a lot of people showed up. I was working, so thank you for supporting us with the cleaning day. We got quite a bit done.
we gathered enough between the Great Myrtle trash to fill that green bin. So, that green trash bin, but when I got there, all of that trash was collected, so it filled that. There are pictures that will be posted on the website, if you wanna look at the Franklin County Read, website, but you can look at pictures. Again, lunch was provided, I'm sorry you guys missed it, my sister prepared grilled hot dogs, which was awesome, and people that.
You should've come back for that.
Man, the grilled hot dogs was prepared, and the man in my life that was able to go back at the end of the day in the evening and clear the grass off the softball is my dad. I mean, this little man doesn't stop. I mean, Jackie and Donald walked out and they saw it, and you can go out now and the grass is gone. So all of these were projects that not just me, but everyone, if you were there to support, I don't wanna name people, but I had to name Danny, because I mean, I can drive the tractor, but anyway, we were able to get that done. Also, a group of us will be attending the meeting with Laura and Donald, Tallahassee in the morning, so we'll be driving up there. Tallahassee to attend that, I'm listening on the panel today. So there's a lot, I'm learning a lot, there was a lot to listen for, but I think we're ready. It's a small place, but I feel like we're ready to hold our ground when it comes to convincing people about what we need. Just moving on the checklist here. I think those are mainly it. Again, thank you everyone for the support that you're out there listening, whatever you're doing. We thank you as a committee. Some members, if you want to add something, Mr. Martin, Mr. Fuller. Like I say, I use that word "we" a lot because it's just not me, and people are everywhere and everywhere. I don't name people for that reason because I want to live from the smallest to the biggest person. So thank you if you are helping in any way, if you have any questions. All right, Ms. Hines, don't make it hard.
I have a question, but I guess it's for Ms. Gorman though. So if we get awarded this grant, approximately how long does it take in order for you to receive it and to start work?
Where's Laura? I don't know what the timeline is on that.
Next door.
Is she still over there?
Back.
I can get that information back to you. I don't know the timeline. We have so many going on. I have to have my cheat sheet to be able to tell you. I don't know, what the time frame is, but I'll get it back to everybody. With your grant update, I'll make sure you have all that on there.
Okay. And so the reason I asked that question is because, I know we wanted to hold off on putting up a fence, a temporary fence, but after.
Different fence.
Okay.
The difference in the fence.
Barrier, whatever it may
The
be.
fence you're talking about was around the parking lot, the one that was Spar donated.
Yeah.
Right.
Is
The
it
fence we're going for around the entire
forward.
thing.
The temporary, yes, the parking area.
Yeah, so the fence
So-
works for the whole park.
Right.
The whole thing.
So, it came to my attention that over the weekend,
Yeah.
that there was a car out there
Yeah.
doing
Got a
donuts.
video of that one.
So I didn't know if
Oh, that
it was
time
long
right
enough
after
to
we left.
maybe try to barrier that off so that,
That's the intent.
it's not causing an issue until we can get the fencing and things done that we need.
Once you do the interior drive, that's mainly so we can deliver equipment from one end to the other when they have their games, instead of walking. Plus, that drive will be fenced off or bollarded and chained off, so the cars just can't randomly go out there with kids playing ball and people walking back and forth. We're trying to direct traffic, so to speak.
Right,
So
eventually.
that's the best way to do it, yeah.
But I was asking if there was anything you could do temporarily to keep people off the grass, keep them doing donuts.
Soccer guys
from-
and soccer people have been out there with those fiberglass poles that seem to kind of.
That people pick up when we move out the way.
So, yeah, we're talking about, we're trying to problem solve. I think I'm working with Jonathan. We're understanding the park a little better now, and we're engaged in that conversation. We gotta come up with some problem solving, and I think we can stop that at the front end of the park. Jonathan, you can speak up anytime.
Yes, ma'am, we're gonna start putting that fence up Monday.
Thank you so much.
So, he ain't that easy.
Thank you. Thank you for giving her that one. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Oh, there she is. Laura, do you have a timeline on, if we get the grant in Tallahassee, do you know when it's awarded and when start date and all that stuff is? We need time for design and engineering.
Oh, yeah, we have all that in our grant card. We give ourselves plenty of time for design.
But do you know about when it would start?
When would the money be
When-
awarded?
You don't have to front me either.
Okay, if you don't know.
I know that we will know very soon if we get it, if we get it worded, but then it has to go through Florida legislature. I'm not exactly sure when it's gonna go through. It has to get approved.
Well, I started to say the governor has to sign it too, because he can always.
This is the
Right,
first
right.
state.
Yeah, we would knock him in the nose, but, you know, there you go. I'm looking at my phone because Mr. Bloom, who is on the ball, has sent me the numbers, if we want to reconsider those now.
All right.
He's got his calculator going. If you'll get your pen out, I'll give you some numbers, and then we'll go from there. I'll put your fingers in the ears if you don't care. I'm gonna tell you that Ms. Wright's current salary is $51,000 even. A 2% increase would increase her by $1,275. A 3% increase would increase her by $1,530. A 3.5% increase would increase her by $1,785. The number that we saw as the ratio on our form was 3.74. He's done that one specifically for us. It is $1,907. A 4% is $2,040.
So is her pay 51 or 52,022? Here it says 52,022.
I have 51,003 on my savings plan. I don't know what you're looking at. Yours may include safety bonuses and maybe some benefits, I'm not really sure. My staffing plan over here says $5,103, and he rounded it off to 5,100. 51,000, excuse me, 51,000. So the 3.74 increase that is the ratio on her valuation would be $1,907. If that is the same method you would like to use at this time, I would entertain a motion for approval of the 3.74% increase in the amount of, and that would take her to $52,907. And we would need a resolution in order to do that, but we can approve it at this time. Or you can give me another suggestion if that's what you want to do.
Can we do a 2.74?
Why? Why?
Well, you already know my feelings, about, my thing, we are, when we get raises, as I've seen, when we get raises, thousands of dollars of raises at a time. And I understand you guys' concept of trying to get people at a certain level. We also still have to be mindful of the city money. And it's just, I don't know.
Again, I get my little calculator out here.
I know, it's more than minimum wage, but we're not talking about minimum wage.
Divided by 2,080. It's 91 cents an hour.
Increase.
Yeah. And that's, you know, she works a whole lot more than 2,080 hours, but that's,
She does.
that's what that's based on.
Okay.
So, I say use the same method we used before. In my book, that's the reason for doing the evaluation and rating it the way we do. If not, there's no other way to calculate it. You're right, like the mayor said, if we decided to give everybody in the city a merit raise and that's all they got, and it was across the board and it was a set amount, everybody would get the set amount. But that's not what we did. Even this year, it was for anybody. We asked them to do comparisons. Mr. Johnson.
You know, I was trying to be
That's
quiet.
all right,
tonight.
I'm okay.
And I hear what Ms. Hines is saying, Councilwoman Hines, but I've been working with her for a while, and I like your recommendation of 3.74. But if it's up to me, I'd do the 4 and be done with this. Okay, you guys put your resolution in, let's move on. But I would, and I understand that really watching the city's money, but it is what it is, and she does do a lot, really over and beyond what we really look at a lot of times.
I would still entertain a motion for anything that you would like to consider. Okay, so what do you wanna do? Are we tabling it for another meeting?
Everybody's so quiet this meeting.
I know, I don't know what to do
With
with
this
them.
evaluation.
I mean, these are y'all's scores, these are y'all's scores, you put the scores on here. Mr. Fuller.
I'd just like to say, we at least need to look at the cost of living increase, because if you give less than the cost of living, you're actually giving a reduction in pay.
Yeah.
And so.
Cost of living is really high right now.
Yes. And
So I don't know that we can do that.
But, so you can't, actually, merit should be over and above cost of living. Because otherwise, you can't give something for merit when you actually haven't covered cost of living.
Well, we haven't given merit. Ms. Nelson.
I'd like to make a recommendation to get some comparable numbers of what the salaries are for surrounding cities, for city clerk, just as we did with city manager.
Okay.
Because I believe that you will find that her rate is under. And so as we discuss and even look at even a 4% raise, I think that you will see that her salary is still yet under the average city clerk salary. So it, just so that we can, we have some other figures to look at, just so that we can, make a decision based off of knowing that her salary is under.
And I did do that for the others, and I
We
did
did that for the city manager, however, we also did that for the police and fire department, got them nowhere.
Well, I think we'd still like to know, so that we, as we're justifying and looking at her numbers, we do have some comparable salaries, just so that we can look at where we are from a compression standpoint.
Are those comparable salaries comparable to the population of this city?
Just as we did for the city manager.
Yeah, we do the same.
We haven't got them, but we can do that.
Yeah.
We can call and get them, so that you'll have them at the
Why
next
don't you
meeting.
do that and bring it back?
I'm willing to do that, because I don't have a motion. Mr. Johnson.
Yeah, since nobody's doing no motion, I might as well talk.
You might as well.
Yeah, you're only gonna do something from 1 to 5, am I correct? So if you do 4%, that's pretty much along the line of our city manager. 4%, 5% is not gonna make that much difference, because you're going around, you're gonna compare with everybody else. And like the mayor is saying, you're looking at population, you're looking at different things. I don't know about the council, if I could, I'd make a motion now. I'm just doing that anyway. But I can't, so we already got something you're working on a scale, so you got 1 to 5. And 3.74 is right at 4, you round it up and you're done. And there's really no sense in tabling something that we can really clean up tonight.
If you want me to bring back comparable numbers, I would be glad to do that.
Compare with other.
Is that the consensus at this time?
We did that same thing for the city manager.
We did. Is that what you want me to do? I mean, like I said, I'm looking at y'all's numbers. You're the ones who put the numbers, mine as well. It's our ratio, it's the way we judge the evaluation. So, I mean, the 3.74 is the ratio that you came up with. As of overall. But like I said, if you want me to bring back the comps from other cities our size, I can definitely do that. Is that the consensus that I have?
If we do the same thing that we did for the city manager, which we gave the ratio number,
Yes, ma'am. Which is the 3.74. Right.
Right, and then we're consistent.
And then we're consistent.
That's right.
Exactly.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Thank you. Be consistent.
You
So
said
do I'm gonna make a motion.
So do I have a motion?
I move that we give. Just take conversation.
Because I wanna go home.
To be considered, I would move that we give Ms. Ray the 3.74, which is the ratio number, the $1,900, 1907. Do I have a second to the motion? Somebody better second it now.
What was Jackie's?
Four, but that's what it came, it was 4.043 or 13 or something
It was
like that.
4.095.
Yes, thank you. It was 4.0 something. Okay.
4.095.
4.095 is what Ms. Gorman was, and she got a 4.
Follow the consistency.
Yes. I mean, you can go to 3.5, 3.74, 4, whatever you want. I have a motion.
I just think we should just be consistent. If we're gonna do it, if we're gonna use this evaluation form, and this is what we did for Jackie, we should do the same for Patricia.
I agree 100%.
All right. Is that a second, Mr. Cox?
Do I hear a second?
Yes.
Woo-hoo! I have a motion, I have a second. Is there any further discussion from anyone on this council panel? Any discussion from anybody in the audience? All in favor of the motion, say aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Forward. Thank you very much. Okay. I think we're done. We will move now to, did we do the public participation? What did we do? We backed up because Mr. Bloom gave his number. Well, at this time, is there any other public participation? Chief Strang.
I want to remind everybody on March the 5th from 9 until 2, it's the Wilson on Wheels Car Show that benefits the Friends of Wilson Police at Heritage Park.
Let us know what we need to do.
Bring
Yes.
money.
Bring my money, I'll buy my
Bring
don't
money.
worry.
Bring the car.
But if you need me to do something, let me know.
We'll get with you.
I have shirts. I can do it. Okay, anything else from the council? Mr. Ross? Ms. Hines?
Yes.
I knew you had something, because you waited before. What you got?
Is there any way that, we can know how many participants are online when we initially start our council meeting?
It varies, just depends on who logs in, who logs out. The GoToMeeting, I can tell you at any time you ask. The YouTube, I can see how many people are viewing.
Okay. So if you could just tell us at the beginning when we're going around and
Okay,
ask,
well,
I guess participation.
right now, we have 4 others outside of here
Okay.
on the GoToMeeting, and the YouTube currently has 4 viewers online right now.
And I would say a lot of people watch it after the fact.
Yeah. And last thing.
Yeah.
Someone had a complaint about the bathroom doors, John Henry Park. They said on last week that they sent a letter. Can you tell me whether or not you guys saw that back in the report?
Yes, ma'am, we're trying to price out new doors as we speak.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
So what's going on with the doors? So what is going on? What happened?
Somebody down, we don't know who,
Somebody
answered that,
damaged
close
it.
to
Okay. I know the light's on a lot. Whoever's supposed to be turning the light off at night, so. Is it got a switch or is it locked?
No, they're on switches, so.
Okay, so I could actually walk down there and turn it off if I felt like it.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I appreciate it. I think that is the plan. I think we're planning to put motion sensor lights and stuff.
If that's your wish, absolutely.
Oh, yeah, that would be wonderful. That would be great. Because I know people are down there every day, first thing in the morning and last thing in the evening. It saves them a lot of time having to do that. Great question, Ms. Hines. Mr. Mayor? Strong? I have nothing, thank you. Mr. Cox?
Yes. airport. What time is the event this weekend?
From 9 AM to 3 PM.
Well, don't forget Miles to Smiles.
Still on Thunder.
That's what he's talking about, it's a lot of fun.
And then, I noticed a lot of people's talking about the airplanes flying low this weekend, and drop dusters.
Yes, sir.
Doing that. Is there any way when we know in advance when they're gonna do it, that we can start putting that out on social media, so
I can start making that happen. Yes, sir.
I'm gonna just make it aware of that, you know, everybody.
Sure. Yes, sir.
Ms. Gorman, have anything else? Ms. Baloo? Oh, she was
Speaking
holding-
of the airport, I just wanted to update, the council that the cease and desist letter has been sent to the individual, which we discussed at the last meeting.
All right.
And I'll keep you updated with any other developments.
Thank you. That's right. Chief Steele,
I'm good.
are you sure?
Yes.
Oh, you wave your hand.
I'll catch up with you after the meeting.
Okay, Chief Travis.
I'm good.
Any other staff member? Hold your peace. I will entertain a motion for adjournment. I have a motion, I have a second. Any discussion by anyone? All in favor say aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you for coming. 7:25.
Take your place.
I was in the middle of that. I didn't want you to hit it. I didn't want you to hit it.
I was here whenever I was here when he got sworn in, so, see?